Hey guys, okay, so one of the things I wanted to discuss was I'm just lying back in the chair right now, if you're wondering. I wanted to talk about karmic state. So before you're awake and aware, before you're fully consciously aware of how your emotions are impacting your decisions and everything it is that you act upon when it comes to triggers and emotional responses. When it comes to a person that is a bit more consciously aware and then somebody that's in a karmic state, it's very, very difficult to communicate when the other person is triggered to the point where they've allowed their emotions to get the best of them. So at that very state, it's hard to communicate, maybe hard to rationalize, hard to get them to maybe take a breather, stay calm, because they've clung to a specific emotion. That's what they're going to roll with, right? They're not going to, it's this whole situation of like telling somebody to, be easy or stay cool and calm, and they get really upset about that because they are reacting in an emotional sense. So the logic can be there, but it's a choice that they haven't fully acknowledged yet. And most of the times it comes down to like personal, when you have to admit shit to yourself, accountability, like what your part in is it, and more so when you're in a karmic state, it's a lot more difficult to take the accountability. So to acknowledge what your part is in it and how you are responsible for your actions. So let's say you keep knocking a glass over, right? And every time you knock the glass over, you're going to react emotionally instead of acknowledging the fact that your actions, meaning you can move the glass to the other side of the table, so that the next time you go to do something, you don't knock it over. And that would be taking initiative and then healing from that trigger and learning the lesson and moving forward. So that's just a small example, and there's many different examples out there. But honestly, when you are having a discussion with somebody that's in a karmic state, it's not going to be easy. The best thing you could probably do is acknowledge that they're feeling a certain way. Say that you're going to speak to them when they are more grounded or calm, and walk away or keep your distance until the other person has regained conscious awareness of their emotions and put themselves in check, sort of deal. And I know this sounds a little bit hypocritical because I've been through it too. And I still have moments where I go through that as well. And it's not always easy to admit shit to yourself. It's not. But a lot of the times when it comes to huge arguments or people going back and forth and that ping pong effect, when you have two people in a karmic like state and both of them are not fully consciously aware of their emotions and how it has taken the wheel and like kind of steered them, you're going to get a lot of the unresolved uh, arguments or issues and stuff like that. And that's when you get a lot of people, both of them going their separate ways and maybe even burning a bridge or two, or just not talking to each other for a while or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like um, when two people can't learn the lesson, regardless of what the lesson is at that very moment, then that's going to be like what I like to call the ping pong effect. And that usually happens with people that are not fully conscious of their emotions and how it guides them and the decisions they make, the words they speak, how they act, how they carry themselves. What they want to cling to is ultimately very important. So if they decide to cling to an emotion that's a negative emotion instead of learning the lesson there, which would be admitting whatever you need to admit to yourself, it makes it really hard to talk to a person that has done that for themselves and then somebody that hasn't quite got there yet to acknowledge that. And sometimes you have two people that are consciously aware of their emotions. They both verbalize it, they both discuss it, they come to a resolution, and maybe even, what do you call that? Um, Compromise or any sort of solution to the issue. And then they both learn their part in it, whatever the disagreement may be. They both learn the lesson and then they both move forward past that. And that's usually like stemming from a healthy relationship when you have that with friends, family, lovers, you name it. So I don't know if this resonates with you, if you yourself have allowed your emotions to get the best of you. I'm sure we all have at some point or another. There are some of us that aren't fully consciously aware and they're in a more karmic-like state. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're like that all the time. It just means at that very moment in time when they're triggered, they're in a karmic-like state. And it's not meaning that they're less of a human being, which they're not. It just means that they haven't acknowledged that part yet, or whatever they need to admit to themselves. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe. If not, you could check out one of my other ones too. Either way, thank you to everybody that's like, shared, and subscribed. Like all the subscribers I have. I never, when I started this 2 years ago, we're hitting up 3 years almost, I never thought that I would have grown myself the way I have, and I never thought that my channel on YouTube, which was just a form of overcoming my fear and then sharing what I've learned, I never thought that it would grow this big, and I'm truly grateful for all you guys. Whether you donate, thank you, or you just energetically donate, thank you very much, and take care of yourself and breathe.